Okay, so we are rounding the turn here towards the end of the course, and where we're going to get to is a point where we'll be able to do a basic arrangement of the track itself. But before we do that, we need to get our final building blocks in place of this rough first draft arrangement of this track going. And how we're going to do that is by getting some drum machine patterns and iterating on them a little bit to give us lots of different choices, from the most basic sounds all the way through to the most full elaborate patterns. So we've got that ability through looking at the various different patterns here, and we can just start off by doing something very, very simple, which is to take this initial pattern, make sure the host mode is on, and make sure that any clips that are playing in your drum machine channel are switched off. And then that means we can hear in isolation the actual pattern itself, which is what you've heard before. This is where we'll start. So we can just take pattern 9 here and we can just drag in, and we'll put pattern 12 underneath that. And what we'll want to do is take pattern 10 maybe, and then listen to it again. Nice. Very cool. So we've got this playing in 2-bar sections, essentially. So what we're going to need to do, and we'll do this now, but we'll do this progressively as we go through, is we're going to duplicate. And we're going to duplicate this up to our 8 bars, as we talked about previously. And that's quite a cool thing. So we'll be able to fold down like so for pattern 9. And then here for pattern 12, we'll just hit duplicate. So now we've got 8 bars, which matches our 8 bars on the diva and on both the pads and on the sub bass as well. So pretty cool. So from here, we've got pattern 12 and pattern 9, as I mentioned before, and we'll just build. We'll probably use pattern 10. We'll drop that in. Again, let's see what pattern 11's saying. Quite nice. So what we might want to do is just place in the pluck again. Very cool. So you can see the way the patterns in Drum Machine work, that they are progressively layering on, and effectively there's the bones of like a full production just within Drum Machine. So I'll carry on through 12. Let's look at 13. Let's have a little listen to that. And that's quite an interesting one. That atmospheric sound that I'm not using is in there, which means I'm not going to use that. And it's the low tom that's quite interesting here. And what I want to check is the tuning again. And I might just want to come down a couple. We were +3, so like maybe we go +3. Not bad. So just tuning those toms to make sure that they work. Then we can incorporate them in Again, drag, drop. Take that atmosphere out. We've now got the clap. Nice. Working very nicely. We've now got extra layers here. And we've got that extra stab, shall we say. And again, we can tune that down or up. At all. And again, we can just edit that a little bit because there's a kick missing there. Just put that in as a little bit of a fill. So we can take, we can take all of those actually. We want 14 as well. So we'll drag and drop 14 and 15, and let's see what 16 is saying before we close proceedings off. Extra layer. And we'll leave that stab in case we want to use it, but we can drag and drop it in. So very, very cool. So now we've got this lovely progression where, let's say, for example, we could start off here. We'll take the host mode off, start here, and we'll just speed run through them, not just do the whole 8 bars. Go, and you can see where we just need to do the rest of our duplication here. So again, we'll just highlight those first 2 bars, duplicate, 12 already done. Of course, I can lay them out like this in Drum Machine because you can have up to 4 pages and do the full 8 bars there. But in case, you know, you're working with these preset patterns, we can work on this level as well. As you can see, very quick to get into our 8 bar structure. Very cool. And there you go. And again, we've got certain cases where, you know, the clap, F1, we just need to pop those guys in because they're in from there. From there, you can hear where that extra kind of 16th note comes in. Right there. Similar as before, we'll add in a side chain. I'm using Devious Machines Duck here. That just adds a bit more groove. And again, with the 8 bar pattern, what we might want to do is actually have our stab happen less often, maybe at the end of the 8 bars. And what I've done there is just highlighted the note and then hit 0, which deactivates the note. So when I do drum arrangements like this in any form, whether it's using Drum Machine or drum racks or whatever it is, when I'm doing drum arrangements like this, I never really delete notes. I always deactivate them because I might want to switch them back on and do different variations, and it saves you having to go through the whole, you know, process of recomposing the note essentially. So Again, deactivate rather than delete, I think, is a good way to look at it. And again, we can roll that back for those two there. And this is where you might want to add a little bit of EQ just to clean the low end up a little bit. I'm just going to add a little high pass at 60. Maybe 55. And again, because of the fact that most of, or all of the elements in Drum Machine have been mixed previously, it's only small adjustments. So again, this is the other beauty. It's like how quickly we've gotten to a point here where with both Drum Machine and with MIDI Grid, we are ready to arrange essentially. So from here, what we can do is, again, decide actually like how we're going to progress here on an 8-bar level. So again, what we've actually got is, again, 8 sets of 8. So basically you've got, quite a few bars here already. So you've got 64 bars here already. So that's 8, 16, 24, 32, 8, 16, 24, 32. So that's 48 bars. 64 bars, I should say. And basically you've got 2 minutes of track time here. So now it's just about how you bring the other elements in. So again, this is not going to be like a final arrangement. This is just going to help us to get to this like point of like, right, let's sketch out the first initial arrangements and then get it from the session view into the arrangement view. That's what we're going to do in this next and also final video on the course before we wrap up in the final video, if you know what I mean. So stay tuned, join me in the next video because I'm going to show you how to lay this out in the session view and then very quickly record it into the arrangement view. So don't miss it because this will change the game for you production wise.